of Columbia had its best quarter in the history of the District of Columbia last year. We are a prosperous and growing city. And in a city as prosperous as ours, we can make the necessary investments to make sure more Washingtonians participate in that prosperity. In my discussions with people all over the District of Columbia, from all 8 wards, all backgrounds and beliefs, people with substantial incomes and people with no incomes, one thing that crossed all of those boundaries and lines was their feeling that in a city as prosperous as ours, we should make the necessary commitments to end homelessness. The truth is, it seems like an insurmountable problem, but with focus and investments and doing the hard work every single day, every month, every year, we can end homelessness in Washington, D.C. And I decided that though it seemed insurmountable, that I would recruit the best team, I would argue for the best plan and the resources necessary to do what we need to do to put the District of Columbia on the pathway to making sure that homelessness is rare, brief, and non-recurring in Washington, D.C. We know that our system can and must work better. We basically looked at our system and realized what it was kind of a holding place or a queue for affordable housing. It wasn't a system that prevented homelessness. It wasn't a system that worked well for people who were experiencing homelessness and in emergency situations. And it certainly wasn't a system that was putting people on the path to getting into safe and affordable housing. So we are looking at the every phase of our homeless services system and trying to make it work better. I was lucky that I knew the right person to recruit to Washington. She was familiar with Washington. The Fed stole her from us, so I stole her back. And now Laura, with a fantastic team at the Department of Human Services and with our Interagency Council on Homelessness and with wonderful providers like Friendship Place, we are looking at every phase of that system. I'm proud to say that we had the opportunity to open a new state-of-the-art center called the Patricia Hanley Center. That is a shelter that will give vulnerable women a safe place to stay, located right in the heart of downtown D.C. We also argued to make our system serve people that are experiencing an emergency, not people who want to get out of one housing situation that is safe and get in a queue for affordable housing. We have to make sure the emergency system is for people who are experiencing emergencies. And that is why we work with the council to ensure that we have the ability to make interim placements, which provides immediate shelter for families who present to us, but also make sure we're only serving families that are experiencing an emergency. We also launched a new homeless prevention program and increased our investments in permanent supportive housing programs like rapid rehousing and targeted affordable housing and permanent supportive housing. Those investments in the last 2 years have increased by 60%. We also helped, and Laura and I and the whole DHS team are very proud of this accomplishment, that we helped more than 2,500 families, 2,500 families avoid homelessness altogether and avoid our system altogether by helping them stay in their safe and affordable homes. We also helped 1,800 veterans to enter permanent supportive housing. One program we just opened on North Capitol Street, we hope to be a model, not just for our city and our region, but our whole nation. We also competed for a $9 million grant that our Department of Behavioral Health received, and that allows us to expand our outreach efforts to reach chronically homeless individuals who are living with substance disorders or serious mental health issues that have prevented them from taking advantage of the many homeless services that we provide. And with the council's support, we're very focused at the end of the spectrum, and that's making sure that there is actually affordable housing available to people once they get on their feet. And we have invested in the last 2 years, and we will do so again this year, $100 million in local city dollars to make sure more affordable housing projects can happen in the District of Columbia, all across the district. And with that, we have constructed or preserved in the last 2 years 1,200 units and have many more to come in the next 2 years. A big part and a cornerstone of our commitment to ending homelessness has also been to close D.C. General. I don't know how many times people have told us that an old hospital is not the place for homeless families. Certainly not for a year or 2 years, and not even for short-term stays. And we also knew that the problem of homelessness wasn't restricted to one area of our city. Not just the Ward 5 issue, not just the Ward 7 or Ward 8 issue. It is a city-wide issue, and the whole city should be a part of the solution. And we presented what we know to be a strong citywide plan to close DC General and build 50-unit buildings in all 8 wards of the city to make sure that families experiencing homelessness will have safe places to stay during those emergencies. Now, is it an easy thing to do, to go into a neighborhood and say, hey, we have 50 units coming your way? Who thinks it's easy? It's not. But I think what we have done is we've presented a whole package, and I refuse to let the package be split up because I knew how important it was for the whole city to be a part of the solution. And for the entire city council to endorse a plan that would close DC General and create these 50-unit structures across the city. And we have, in this short time, have already 3 of the buildings approved by our Board of Zoning Adjustment, and the final 3 we hope to be approved on March the 1st. And Friendship Place has been so key to working with neighbors in Ward 3 to let them know in a city as prosperous as ours, we can help our homeless neighbors. Thank you very much.